Okay, so we're going to be watching GlobePhoenix, who is going to be playing Sigma at a minimum in this game. This is Gold 2 on Colosseo. This is what they said. I've been playing Overwatch for some years now, and as long as I can remember, I've been stuck in high gold to low plat. I noticed that some nice people were giving advice on the game here, so I would like you guys to tell me what I'm doing wrong in a game where I think I got gapped. And they go on to say that they feel like there was a noticeable difference in impact between them and the opposing tank. So let's look at the game. First, the lineup. This is something I always focus on: is what's your team, right, and how do you play around that and be successful. Number one, your Sigma, right? Sigma is a great poke tank. You don't want to brawl. You don't want to run in there and suddenly fight it out to the death. You also don't want to be poking forever. You wear down their resources until they lose their shield or their health or their cooldowns, and then you walk over them. You're not a dive tank, right? You're not supposed to get in there very quickly and get out. You have no mobility whatsoever, so that's something to always be aware of. Is you have to be a pretty good duelist and pretty self-sufficient. You need a lot of healing, which is nice. Your team can be greedier, right? So, for example, I don't want to see, like a Moira and a Brig or something like that, just trying to constantly pocket me the whole time. Like, I want people who can do damage and help enable my teammates, because I personally, as Sig, don't really need much healing. Looking at the rest of your team, you have Junkrat is a great poke slash spam DPS, is really good. Ashe, another good poke slash spam DPS. You have Moira as a healer. I don't think Moira is a top tier support for a variety of reasons, but I think that she's still totally fine in gold, not an issue whatsoever. So I would expect a lot of healing from the Moira. Kiriko is an excellent all around support, so don't expect to have healing problems or like amount of healing. Also, both of your supports are super independent, which is great. Like, neither one of them are going to need you to peel for them, which means that you can kind of focus on the front. So honestly, this is a pretty good setup in terms of your team aligning with you and the style that you're probably going to want to be playing as Sigma, and to make you be successful. All right, walk forwards. So for starters, let's think, what's our plan here, right? You always need to have a plan. You don't have a plan, then things are going to go wrong, and you're like, okay, how do I change my goals, right? What's my objective? What should I be doing right now? Well, right now you've already seen they got a Rhine, right? And then they have a Mei right here, and then you see that there's an Ana in the back, and everybody else you're kind of figuring it out, but pretty soon you're finding out there's an Ashe and there's a Moira as well. So for starters, the Ana and you are basically never going to interact. Like, she's too far away for you to pretty much ever attack her. Like, something very weird needs to happen, like either unless you like ulti her, right? You do have to watch out for sleep dart and grenade, but beyond that, like, you are never going to be attacking her or putting any pressure. That's not your job. You have the Mei. The Mei is definitely a problem for you, right? In the sense that you can get walled off from your team and then you'll die. So you need to always be aware, can I get walled here in a way that I cannot get back in range of my team? And if so, can I survive without it, right? So for example, if the Rhine is dead and you get walled off, you're probably fine. You can just put up a shield, you can use grasp, and you're unkillable, right? But if the Rhine is like in your face and you get walled off, you're probably gonna die. You're gonna get charged and then swung at and then get killed. So big problem. Like, Mei is a great tank killer, so you always have to be thinking, all right, where am I? How do I react to the Mei? Now they have Rhine here. Rhine's really interesting, right? Rhine does not want to stay at a distance. That's the whole. He's a hammer tank with a shield, not a shield tank with a hammer. So he's gonna try to get into your face and try to kill you and hit you with his hammer. So your whole goal here is to give space in exchange for burning resources. So you're constantly going to keep spamming probably the Rhine shield, right? And he's going to try to run towards you with the Rhine shield up. You're going to back up to stay at a hammer range, and when the shield's going to break, then you start moving forwards, because once the shield breaks, he's very, very vulnerable, and then you can kill him. Okay, so that's the flow when you play Sigma versus Rhine. He comes towards you, you back up. His shield's going to break, you push forwards. Okay? Now, of course, if he's smart, right, he's going to stay around a corner or something like that, and you need to think of an angle of how to use that advantage during the period of time where he cannot do anything. So, for starters, you have to be mindful of your shield usage, right? It's like, does this shield really that important right now? I think initially, to stop some initial cooldowns, I think it's okay, but I would take this down pretty quickly, because after this, like, your whole team, right? Your whole team here is going to be playing with lots and lots of cover here, right? I don't need to keep my shield up. That's another thing to think about a shield is, I think people, especially in lower ranks, think, oh, you keep your shield up 100% of the time, as much as you possibly can, so your teammates can use it. No. Your teammates should be using cover. The shield is really used, honestly, more selfishly for you to take position or to block a specific cooldown, not as something you keep up all the time as, like, another form of, like, wall or cover, right? Because it's really going to go down very, very quickly, and you need to make sure you have it up when you're ready. All right, so you pull it back in, which I think is good. Okay, good, right? You're just spamming Rhine, staying on range. I think this is totally fine. I think one thing that you keep in mind is that you're playing pretty far from cover here, okay? I can already see what's going to happen next, right? So in the event that you're like, oh, I need to take cover quickly, how do you take cover? Well, normally you play right or left, but the problem is this is not good cover because the Rhine is in your face, right? The Rhine is like right on top of you. So even if you take cover right here, the Rhine will just go up and kill you. Okay, that's number one, is to think about cover, right? So for example, you could be playing here, right? Or here, right? Or conceivably here. Those are all better options than trying to play up into this card, right? As I mentioned, again, the timing of Sigma versus Rhine is really important, right? Trying to push in initially when he has all his resources, full shield, is a really bad idea, okay? You want to burn the shield down, burn health down, and advance with that, okay? You have no advantage right now. You are playing, the Rhine wants to get closer to you. Don't get closer to him. That's bad for you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, remember when I talked about the Mei? Mei is a great tank killer because she'll wall you off. If you look from the Mei's perspective right now, this is such a juicy wall. You're so far ahead of your team, and if I wall you here, you can't easily get to cover. So I'm going to assume what's going to happen here is, one, you're going to get walled, and two, the Rhine is going to charge and potentially kill you. So, does the Mei wall? Yep, okay, so the Mei walled, right? Honestly, that's not the best possible wall. She should have put it closer to you, right? And now the Rhine's going to try to kill you. So what do you do here? Well, not much. You're going to die. I mean, you're going to try to slide to the right and stay alive, but like, frankly, I would expect that you're going to die here. The mistake you made was not, oh, how can I react to this wall? It's, I never should have been in position for the wall to have killed me to begin with. And you're dead, right? You didn't get diffed by their Rhine. Right? The Rhine really didn't do anything there other than just swing at you. That takes no skill. You got walled off. The wall is what killed you there. And of course, your whole team's probably going to die here. Right? Because without you, I always assume if I die, my team will lose. Right? Unless I made such an impact that my death, that it's larger than the impact of my death. Right? You expect every single time I die, I expect my team to lose. Never expect your team to carry you. Alright, so you're coming up here. Do you know the Rhine's advancing? What's your plan? Well, you could put pressure here. The problem is these are too far away for you to hit. Right? Like that, you could maybe splash the Ana a little bit, but not enough to kill her right now. So I'd probably turn around and focus and help whatever's going on with my Rhine. Or with the team, right? Because your Rhine's clearly trying to kill... The Rhine is like trying to go and kill somebody. So I would be like, hey, look, right here, I can shoot down into his back and do a ton of damage. You do 120 damage per 2 clicks, right, on directs. You could do a lot of damage to this Rhine right now, who's putting pressure on your back line, which, as a reminder, is also preventing them from healing you, right? Or doing anything of value. So most important thing here, no, don't drop. So, okay, let's think about this for a second. How is dropping here the right call? Their whole team, their whole backline, who has nobody else to shoot, sees you, which means they're going to attack you, right? They're going to shoot you, they're going to damage you, they're going to sleep you, they're going to nade you. Your team cannot see you. Your supports are around the corner. They can't do anything to help you. Your other DPS are coming back from spawn, okay? This is a terrible spot to drop. There's no reason to drop here, okay? You're a ranged hero. Play at range. The Rhine is probably going to, after the Moira kites him a little bit, is going to turn around and be like, wait, why is there a Sigma in the face? I guess I'll just kill him, right? You go for this Moira kill, which is like good. Like, this is good mechanics, right? Right? You really get the double direct, so it's great, right? But again, what's your plan now? Look, lucky we're in gold, where everyone is not paying attention. But you get away with this, but I think this is a bad idea. I think that in most situations, I think you get killed or punished severely for this. Okay. You did a good job, right? So you didn't get walled down, which is fine. Everything makes sense to you, as long as you didn't walk forward to the wall. Okay. So, when the Mei wall is up, okay, what do you do right now? Well, again, I'm thinking I gotta put some pressure on, possibly get a kill, but I'm not expecting to get a kill, right? It's very hard as Sigma to get kills against people unless they choose to try to take fights against you. Right? You're just not a bursty hero unless you hit a rock, and hitting rocks is not consistent. So I'm expecting, I just want to do enough damage and to wear them down that the rest of my team can get kills, and for me to farm ultimate and then use that to wipe the team. Right? When this wall is up, I probably just slide to the side, right, to the left over here, and just keep putting some more pressure. Right? That's fine. They want to wall this? Fine. I'll just go over here. Right? Plenty of people for me to shoot over here. Right? They're not going to be able to get underneath so quickly. So, again, what do we say about dropping? Why is dropping here into the Rhine's face a good idea? You see 5 people, like the second you drop and you see 5 people, you must realize I made a mistake, right? There's no way that this is the right call for a ranged tank to be dropping next to their melee tank with the entire team able to see you, and I think you are down 2 people right now with just 1 support with you, right? Like, this is a 2-on-5 that you started this fight. Like, you could have just sat up top and been totally fine and waited for your team to regroup. Alright, so let's watch what just happened. Okay. So you drop, you land the rock, and great, good mechanics, right? Good aim. Okay. For the record, though, I personally would not have gone for that. Like, assuming I was in this position, which I wouldn't be in this position, I would have made choices that you did. Huh? What's going on here?
We must stop the enemy from advancing.